Speaking of Food Checkout Day, did you know just how fortunate you are to live in the United States? Our farmers and ranchers provide you with the safest, most abundant food supply in the world. So just how do we compare to other countries when it comes to the price of food? That is the subject of this week's Bottom Line.
The Bottom Line is brought to you by the Cotton Board, strengthening the fiber of our industry. First South Farm Credit, financing rural America since 1933. And by Progressive Tractor and Implement, your Case IH and Kubota dealer.
As Mike mentioned earlier, Food Checkout Week is not only a celebration of the ability of our farmers to produce the cheapest, most abundant, and safest food in the world, but it also is a showcase for the generosity of farmers giving through charities like the Ronald McDonald House. That's the hallmark of rural agricultural life, the community spirit that binds folks together to make sure everyone's needs are met. It's a strategy that's worked well for us as a nation from the very beginning, but as time goes on, it's often overlooked. And in the days of these budget cuts beginning to be threatened as well. To give you an idea of how important a cheap food supply is, let's take a look at the first year the USDA began tracking the relevant food data, 1929. That year, the food bill for the average American family was nearly 1/4 of their income, and they ate out less than 20% of the time. 80 years later, your food bill now represents less than 10% of your income, and most Americans are eating out almost half the time. Further, compared with other countries, we're well ahead of the expenditures of even our closest competitors. Every day it seems like there's another story about how China is catching up to us, but they spend more than 1/5 of their disposable income on food alone. Another big fact about China is they are dependent upon other countries, including the United States, to feed their populations. China is spending a great deal of money in places like South America and East Africa to develop infrastructure to get themselves resources, not the least of which is food. The bottom line is we not only enjoy the privilege of spending less money on food, but as a nation, we aren't reliant on other countries to provide it for us. It is something to strongly consider as we continue to try and craft a new farm bill in Washington this year, Mike, which looks like it will contain more cuts to the folks that feed us.
And when we talk about those food donations to organizations like the Ronald McDonald House, it really indicates that farmers understand that charity starts at home. Neil Melancon, thanks. And remember, you can listen to any of Neil's daily radio reports on the Louisiana Farm Bureau Agri-News Radio Network. For a list of stations where you can tune in or listen online, you can click on over to our website, twilatv.org, and click on the LF Barn link. That does it for this edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. Next week, Neil and Avery will bring us stories from the multi-region cotton producers tour in North Carolina. From the research underway to one of the largest spinning plants in the world, you'll see everything that keeps us closed. Until then, you can watch any of our stories from today's program or past programs at our website. You know the address, twilatv.org. For all of us here at This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Michael Dana. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope to see you again right here next week.